Hi. So let's talk about fish. Fish live in water, and all fish live in water, but not all fish live in the same water. So we've talked before about the difference between freshwater and saltwater. So let's do a quick refresher. Freshwater is the water we find in lakes and in streams and in rivers, and saltwater is the water from the ocean. But fish can live in either freshwater or saltwater. Now, some fish can live in what we call brackish water, which is a little bit salty and a little bit freshwater, but most fish have to live in either freshwater or saltwater based on what kind of fish they are and the habitat that they have grown up in. Um, so, animals that live on land breathe air. They get the oxygen that they need from the air around them. So mammals use lungs, and we breathe in air. And our bodies use the oxygen and put out our carbon dioxide. Fish get their oxygen from the water. So they have a whole different system to process air. Fish have gills. And when we've seen gills on fish, it looks like little lines kind of where their neck might be, just behind their eyes. And when fish gulp water, whoop, 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 the water gets pushed through their gills and the gills filter out the air. So all fish have gills. All fish also have scales. Scales protect the fish from predators or from other stuff that might be floating in the water. And scales are not always the same color. So when we see a fish that's like a bright color, it's his scales are really brightly colored, whereas other fish may have very dull colored skin. And again, some of that has to do with their habitat. Your freshwater fish tend to be a little more muted in their color. In other words, grays and browns and stuff that looks like the sediment on the bottom of a river or a lake. And in saltwater, in the ocean where there's beautiful corals, you might have fish that are the colors of the corals or that blend in with the water. So you can see fish that are blue and yellow and orange. Um, Fish scales, all fish have scales. And fish also have eyes, just like we have eyes. And a lot of mammals have eyes. Fish do have eyes, and they use their eyes for finding food and seeing where they're going. Some fish even have spots on their scales to look like eyes to confuse a predator that might be trying to hunt them and think that the fish is moving one direction when it's actually able to move the other. Speaking of moving through the water, fish have fins. Fins help them move through the water. When you go swimming in a swimming pool or in a lake or in the ocean, you use your arms kind of like fins. But our arms and our hands aren't really like fins, and so we don't move through the water quite as fast as a fish. If you've ever tried to catch a fish with your hands, you know they can move very quickly through the water. All right, so now knowing what you know about fish, it's time to design a fish. What would your perfect fish look like? Would it be brightly colored to stand out in a crowd? Would it be muted to match its habitat? Will it have gills? Will it have eyes? Will it have scales? It will. So go ahead and go look at the instructions and see if you can design the perfect fish.